Hey, sixth grade. We are getting ready to get started on lesson 9.2. And as you can see here on our screen, lesson 9.2 is named Use Addition and Subtraction Equations to Solve Problems. Make sure you get that in your notes at the very top of your page. Lesson 9.2, Use Addition and Subtraction Equations to Solve Problems. After you have that written in your notes, you need to get your learning objective in there. And our learning objective states that I will solve equations that contain addition and subtraction. I will solve equations that contain addition and subtraction. We also have a couple of important vocabulary words from that enormous list of vocabulary words you had on that PowerPoint. The two important vocabulary words for this lesson is the addition property of equality and the subtraction property of equality. Just jot the vocab words in your notes. You don't need to worry about writing the definitions again or anything like that because you have already done that. So make sure that you have everything that I've shown you on this first page in your notes. All right? So now we're going to jump right into our lesson. You're going to pretend that you are working at a nursery, like a plant nursery, not babies. And you plant your very first plant, and it starts off at being 6 inches tall. Okay? By the end of 2 weeks, the plant is suddenly 14 inches tall. Holy cow, you must have been watering and that thing pretty well and making sure it got lots of sun. So, how many inches did the plant grow in 2 weeks? The information that we know, I just jotted it down real quick here. We already know that the plant started off being 6 inches tall. Then we know that by the end of 2 weeks, the plant was 14 inches tall. And the question that we have to answer is, how many inches did the plant grow during those 2 weeks? So we're going to represent this unknown value as x, okay? And then we're going to use the x when we write our equation. So we know that 6 plus x equals 14, all right? Now, kiddos, this one should be kind of a snap to figure out because you guys already know that 6 plus 8 equals 14. That means the value of x would be 8. Equals 14. Make sure you're getting all of this in your notes. Okay? So remember to hit pause and rewind and all that so you get everything in your notes. Okay, next I'm going to show you guys how to solve this type of equation by using the subtraction property of equality. And by the end of this first problem, I bet what you got in your vocabulary notes will make more sense. So we're going to pretend that your parents own a restaurant. And sometimes on the weekends they make you go in there and work, but you get to keep all of your tip money. So on Saturday, oh, and you only work on the weekends. Haha, I forgot to tell you that. Saturday, you earned $8.50 in tips. And then by the end of the day on Sunday, you had a total, like a grand weekend total, of $20.25. Hang on a sec. Okay, so Saturday you earned $8.50. By the end of the day Sunday, your weekend total was this fantastic $20.25. So how much money did you wind up earning on Sunday? That's what we have to figure out. So the unknown value is going to be represented in our equation with the letter m. So if we were going to show this in an equation, we would have 850 plus m equals 20, 25. Now, we need to isolate the variable. We need to get m all by itself so that we can find out what the value of it is. And just like our vocabulary stated, what you have to do the same thing, subtract the same number from both sides of the equal sign so you can get the variable all by itself. So I'm going to draw a line right here through my equal sign because I want to make sure I keep track of what I'm doing. So since it's the subtraction property of equality that I need to use here, I'm going to subtract $8.50 from both sides of the equal sign. So there's subtracting $8.50. Now, when we take a look here, $8.50 minus $8.50, they cancel each other out. It equals 0. We need to bring our m down, bring down that variable. I'm going to go ahead and throw in our equal sign. And then 2025 minus 850 winds up equaling $11.75. So that means that m is equal to $11.75, and that on Sunday you earned $11.75 in tips, and you wound up having your weekend total of $20.25. And boom, just like that, you have used the subtraction property of equality. It's not as bad as it sounded in the first place, is it? We're going to try using the addition property of equality. It's basically the opposite of the subtraction property, and you have to add the same number to both sides of the equal sign. So a quick little example. If you have x minus 8 equals 7, and I do hope you guys are getting these in your notes. I forgot to remind you of that. For the addition property of equality to work, you have to add the same number to both sides of the equal sign so you can get the variable all by itself. So, like I did before, I'm going to split down the middle of my equal sign. This time, I need to add to both sides, and I'm going to add 8 to both sides because I need to get x all by itself. I need to isolate my variable. So 8 minus 8 gets you 0. They cancel each other out, so you bring down the x. X equals, what's 7 plus 8? And hopefully you got 15. So x equals 15. Does that make sense? If we set this up, we replace the x with 15, and we say 15 minus 8 equals 7. Did we do our work correctly? Okay, let's try using the addition property of equality in a real-life kind of situation. And at the end of the video, you guys will have a few problems that you need to do on your own in your notes. So, let's say you've baked cookies. Who doesn't love a good cookie? But you're not really sure how many cookies you ate, or I'm sorry, you're not really sure how many cookies you baked altogether. You know you've eaten 11 cookies. You know that you have 37 cookies left over. So here's our 11 cookies, and here's our, I guess I should label it. Oh my goodness. Here's your 11 cookies. And then you have 37 left. Eat 11 of them. 37 cookies are left. Oh my goodness, I'm having terrible luck here. We have 37 left. And I've said that about 50 times now. So, we need to figure out how many cookies you started with when you first baked your cookies. So you know that you ate 11 of them. You have 37 left. So we're going to set up our problem as C equaling the unknown variable of cookies minus 11 equals 37. 7. All right, so this time we are going to be using the addition property of equality, which means we are going to add the same value to both sides of the equal sign so that we can get our variable all by itself. So we're going to start by adding 11 on both sides of the equal sign. 11 minus 11, I just cross that right out because they cancel each other out. I bring down the C. C equals 37 plus 11 equals 48. So you made 48 cookies when you baked this giant batch of cookies. You ate 11 of them, you only have 37 left, so better take it easy. Okay, I'm going to give you guys your problems to do in your notes because I have a few that I'd like you to solve on your own. So you just have 4 of them, and make sure you show all of your work in your notes. Number 1 is 76 plus W equals 100. Number 2, x minus 16 equals 72. Z minus 38 equals 23. And finally, y plus 25 equals 53. Make sure you get all of this in your notes. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see y'all in class.